Pavlova is more than just a dessert in Australia. It's a symbol of celebration, a canvas for creativity, and sometimes even the cause of a friendly rivalry. While its origins have sparked debates between Australia and New Zealand, there's no denying that Australians have embraced pavlova as their own. Whether it's Christmas, birthdays, family gatherings, or even a casual Sunday barbecue, this meringue-based delight makes an appearance, stealing the spotlight on any dessert table. Imagine this: an Australian family gathered around a backyard barbecue on a hot summer evening. Kids are running around with their sun-kissed faces, adults are chatting over a glass of wine, and someone proudly walks out of the house holding a towering pavlova, decorated with vibrant seasonal fruits. The moment it lands on the table, all conversations pause for a split second, just long enough for everyone to admire the masterpiece before someone inevitably says, "I call the biggest slice." The special occasions for pavlova is a staple at almost every major Australian celebration. Christmas wouldn't be the same without a pavlova crowned with fresh strawberries, kiwi, and passion fruit. Easter lunch often ends with a generous helping of pavlova, topped with chocolate shavings or caramel sauce. Australia Day barbecues feature it as a sweet finisher after a feast of sausages and prawns. Even birthdays, weddings, and anniversaries often include pavlova as a refreshing alternative to heavier cakes. But here's where things get interesting. Australians don't need a special occasion to enjoy pavlova. Some people make it simply because they feel like indulging in something light, airy, and delicious. And then there's that one person in every family who insists on making a pavlova just to practice before Christmas. No one complains, of course. Free pavlova is always a win. The ingredients that make pavlova magical at its core: pavlova is made from just a few simple ingredients: egg whites, sugar, vinegar, cornstarch, and a touch of vanilla. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. Getting the perfect pavlova requires patience and skill. The egg whites are whipped until they form stiff, glossy peaks. Sugar is added gradually to ensure the mixture stays stable and smooth. A little vinegar and cornstarch help create that signature crispy shell while keeping the inside soft and marshmallowy. Baking a pavlova is where things can get dramatic. If you open the oven door too soon, disaster. If there's too much humidity in the air, disaster. If you sneeze too close to the oven, okay, maybe not disaster, but it feels like it. Perfect pavlova takes time and a bit of luck, which is why some people don't even bother making it from scratch. Instead, they buy a ready-made pavlova base and focus on the fun part: decorating. The art of decorating pavlova. Once the base is ready, the real creativity begins. Traditionally, pavlova is topped with fresh whipped cream and an assortment of fruits. Strawberries, kiwi, passion fruit, and blueberries are common choices, but Australians love to get experimental. Some go tropical with mango and pineapple. Others turn it into a chocolate lover's dream with Nutella, crushed biscuits, and chocolate curls. For a fancy twist, you might find a pavlova drizzled with salted caramel and sprinkled with nuts. The moment of decorating can be chaotic in some households. Picture this: a mother and daughter trying to carefully arrange fruit slices while a mischievous sibling keeps stealing strawberries. "I'm just making sure they're not poisoned," they claim, mouth full of stolen fruit. Meanwhile, the family dog lurks around the table, waiting for someone to drop a piece of cream-covered meringue. Buying versus making pavlova. Not everyone has the patience to whip up a pavlova from scratch. That's why supermarkets like Coles and Woolworths sell ready-made pavlova bases. You'll find them sitting in the bakery section, just waiting to be transformed into something spectacular. These bases are a lifesaver for those who want the pavlova experience without the stress of baking. Coles and Woolies both offer different sizes of pavlova bases, with prices varying depending on the brand and quality. They also sell pre-whipped cream, so all you really have to do is assemble the toppings. It's the ultimate shortcut for those who want maximum deliciousness with minimum effort. There's always that one person who brings a store-bought pavlova to a party and tries to pass it off as homemade. But the moment they're asked how they managed to get the meringue so perfect, they nervously laugh and say, "Oh, just years of practice." Meanwhile, the empty Woolies packet is peeking out from the kitchen bin. Is pavlova healthy? Let's be honest, pavlova isn't exactly a health food. It's mostly sugar and egg whites, after all. But compared to rich, butter-laden cakes, pavlova can feel like a lighter alternative. The airy texture and fruit toppings make it seem less indulgent, even though one slice can pack a serious sugar punch. Some people try to make healthier pavlovas by using sugar substitutes, Greek yogurt instead of cream, or adding nuts and seeds for extra nutrients. But deep down, everyone knows the truth. A pavlova is meant to be sweet, decadent, and thoroughly enjoyed without guilt. The history of pavlova, the origins of pavlova, have been a long-standing debate between Australia and New Zealand. Both countries claim to have invented it, naming it after the famous Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova, who toured the region in the 1920s. The dessert was supposedly created in her honor, inspired by her delicate and airy dance style. New Zealand insists that one of their chefs made the first pavlova, while Australians argue that they perfected it and made it their own. The debate has gone on for decades, with historians, chefs, and passionate dessert lovers all weighing in. But at the end of the day, whether it's Aussie or Kiwi in origin, the important thing is that pavlova is delicious and both countries love it. Fun pavlova fails. Not every pavlova turns out picture perfect. In fact, there's a long list of ways a pavlova can go wrong. Can crack, collapse, weep, or turn chewy instead of crisp. Then there are the hilarious decorating fails. Some people get a little too enthusiastic with the fruit and end up with a pavlova that looks more like a fruit salad explosion. Others try to pipe whipped cream into fancy designs, only for it to melt into an unrecognizable blob. And of course, there's always that one unfortunate person who spends hours making the perfect pavlova, only to drop it right before serving. The love for pavlova in Australia. Pavlova is more than just a dessert in Australia. It's a tradition, a conversation starter, and sometimes even a family competition. Who can make the tallest pavlova? Who can come up with the most creative toppings? And who will be the first to grab a slice before it disappears? Whether you bake it from scratch or buy a ready-made base, pavlova will always hold a special place in Australian celebrations. It's light yet indulgent, classic yet versatile, and guaranteed to bring smiles to everyone at the table.